the things that have happened in the past, I mean, at this point, I feel like she might have been the puppet master in things that were going on. And so, kudos to her, because I fell for it. She treated our friendship the way we treated our alliance. It was very undercover, and now that we were in an alliance together, we made it very clear, like, let's keep that momentum going and that perception going, because it's the best way to keep eyes off of us. But she did get cocky.
Yeah. I mean, that last week, Terrence was parlaying, he was talking to everybody, and, Mira got very confident, and I think even in her communication around votes, a lot of people came up to me and said, like, yeah, she just let us do this, like her have vote, that sort of stuff, like, and that sort of language was used, right? So, I think eventually people...
Well, I know you don't.
Oh, God, no. I just... Look, once I moved out of my mom's place, like, I was like, that's the last thing that I'm going to have happen. Somebody tell me what to do. But that wasn't even just me. That was...
I know, but I'm saying, yeah.
Consensus around that.
Yeah.
So, I just don't think anybody should be told. Anyway. But,
I know that I'm mom of the house, and I know I get motherly, and I get very, like, mom. But, like, I just don't see any gain in speaking to people that way, if that's what was happening. Yeah. Because I know that she never spoke to me that way.
I think it's just, I don't know if it's ego or if it's overconfidence or if it's, I would hope it's not like fear tactics, because I think some people felt like it was.
You think it's fear tactics? I mean, if it is, like, from what I'm being told, like, it kind of was.
Yeah. Well, I know that.
But not to an extreme. It wasn't extreme.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not sitting there, like, trying to dwell on the past. Like, I'm not that type of dude. But that's just what I've heard from people. And I've also seen some of that from she never, like, I don't think she got to that point with me where I felt like it was just, like, out of line. But it was just the way, even when she went up on the block, like, the way she approached me. Like, did you have anything to do with this? I'm like, oh, why would I have anything to do with this? You know what I'm saying? Like, first of all, it's Turner's decision, and then second of all, like, we're in an alliance. And if we have been true to this alliance, which I've always been, I've shown no indications of that. I was the one telling the alliance about the guys forming up and trying to get together. Like, I was always the one presenting information. I really wanted that 6 people to go all the way. But unfortunately, like, there's cracks in the ship, and, there's also moles in the ship who are telling people things outside of the alliance that now got exposed. And then I think eventually everybody came to the consensus that this alliance no longer is really, valid or whatever have you, because there's somebody in here who is spreading info and not staying true to the alliance. And it also felt like, okay, well, from Amira's point of view, she was steering the ship and wasn't doing it in a very direct way, but in a very indirect way, which made people feel like, all right, like, that's not cool, like, you got a little overconfident. But of course I didn't want to see her go. I don't know if she ever told you, but on, like, day 2, when we were chatting and getting to know each other and all that sort of stuff, I was like, wow, it's a strong black woman. I can tell she's intelligent, right? Like, we even talked about, like, making sure we looked out for each other until the end. We talked about that, I'm just being very transparent. And that information came back around to me from somebody else. So that never made me feel good about that conversation, because now I know that I'm not priority in the hierarchy of her relationships or whatever have you. So at that point, I think it made the decision easier, but it wasn't an easy decision.
That makes sense. I mean, even a week ago, when I was talking, I told her that me and Terrence are, like, best friends in this house. Like, he is, like, pretty much, I'm his number 1. And so I said to her, so I'm telling her this stuff, right? And so you know, she's like, no, I understand. She's like, I'm so sorry, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple days ago, she says to me, she goes, Nicole, you know you're my number one, right? And I'm like, no, I'm not. She literally had told me, like, that week that I was talking to her about Terrence, or actually before that, she told me that Jazz was her number one. And I was like, how are you going to circle back around and tell me that I'm your number one when you just told me that Jazz is your number one? Which I wouldn't even have a problem with, but you can't flip it.
Yeah.
Because now I know that if we go any further together, you're
That's priority.
she's priority, not me.
Yeah. And she's told me on multiple, and told not only me, but Kyle and Michael, her untouchables were Jasmine and Alyssa. That's all she ever said. Somebody outside of the alliance, somebody within, but somebody outside of the alliance. And to me, it always raised suspicion because I'm like, well, why do you have such a high priority for somebody outside of the alliance? Like even Joe, for me, I love him, right? I plan on working with the guy afterwards on so much. If I needed to have him as like the person who was outside of the alliance that I could advance as far in the game, but I know that at some point I have to vote for him, then that's fine, right? Because I know that this is a game and that he's not going to take it personally, he's going to understand in that goodbye message. But like, I think that's where Amira's head was just a little bit too headstrong. She didn't realize that what she's communicating can come off so poorly to other members of the alliance, especially when we want to make sure that this is the final six. You know what I'm saying?
It's just funny that, like, hearing you say that because, you know, as being part of the alliance, but us never meeting, and I think that that's where the disconnect was, is that we never came together to have full conversations. But, like, she always made it seem like everything was okay with me. You know what I mean? And it makes sense, because why would Kyle, Michael, or you come to me and be like, no,
Yeah.
like, this might be going on?
Yeah.
Because at the same time, we're like, well, we're in an alliance. We know that not everybody's gonna get along, and that not everybody is gonna, you know, have, like, see from the same eyes, but that we're coming together. Never imagine that we're gonna be together.
Well, yeah, and I know, I think this is pretty out there, so there's just maybe a few things I want to get your thoughts on. So it can be realistic to put up, right? I think they're so fine with that, because that's what you put Kyle, and I don't want to be the only one. Any realistic to put up, for somehow reason, say you into when you have some for that this event, right? And the veto is not used for some reason. I think there was actually on the block. What are your thoughts on that? Because I do want to get some perspective. Because I think, for me, I looked at Colin and I was like, I did not want this. Not on my watch. You know, I don't want that on my agenda.
Not either.
But Indiana was on the block. I'm a bit more okay with it. We have a non-alliance member, and also, listen, like I'm sort of watching her this week to see how she's acting. Because a lot of this stuff, you know, information got spread.
A lot.
Right. And I've had some confirmation that she was the one saying stuff. So I'm not.
My heart hurts.
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you that I want Alyssa out. Like that's Taylor's definitely a bigger part of it. Because I don't think Alyssa really wants to put me, Joe, and Tia. I don't think that, right? I hope. But at the same time,
My thing is who do you think would come after you?
what out of those two?
Yeah.
I mean, you know, I've been told that Indy, and I can tell that Indy had like a little crush on me or something like that. So I don't think that she would. Right? I don't think that Alyssa would, but at the same time, I can't necessarily rule that out either. Because I've had no confirmation that she's like outside of course when I went HOH, I got you back. So, you know what I'm saying? But like before that, I don't know if I ever heard those words come out of her mouth. Whereas with you, I've heard those words come out of your mouth before the situation.
Right.
So I feel a lot more reassured knowing that it's not just because I'm nature what you're saying and stuff.
Yeah.
So that's where my head is.
Okay. So.
But I'm also pretty indifferent towards either one. You know what I mean? Long term.
Well, I mean, I'm saying, so here I am, clearly we all had our moments of hurt every day, and it's like, well, what else is she fucking trying to do? And then we're realizing that she is a lot about things, and I'm hoping where we both have been really honest, but, you know, she's going to actually trust me because of my relationship with Daniel, and how does, you know, and I'm like, well, what relationship with Daniel? Because I have two guys in the house that I'm close with, and I'm not sexually attracted to them,
Yeah.
and that I'm very close with. I think the issue that she has is that she thought that maybe I would choose him over one of the girls. And I was like, even if I were to choose him over one of the girls, you have to tell Caleb. So you have your assumptions of like where my standards are with women, which by the way, we don't have an alliance. So if there's anything that I owe anybody, for me, I think my decision should be talk on that level of just life and like those things, but also knowing that she doesn't trust me. I'm at a struggle because it's like, do I pick a fighter who's a firecracker and it will cut somebody's balls off for me, or do I pick somebody that I love and cherish, but this is a game and can't trust her in the game, so it's.
Would you say you're like 50-50 right now? Or are you?
I mean, I can give this a.
Especially that goblet toss. You're doing great.
2 points.
I know, 2 points.
NFL.
Honorable.
I would love that conversation to be open between us because I have no idea.
Okay, so 50-50. That's fine.
And that's, you know, I'm down.
Okay.
Well,
I mean,
I'm down for whatever.
yeah, at this point, I think it's getting more clear.
I hope that doesn't sound generic, like, but no, it's like really like I'm 50-50 because.
And I think you were making your decision a little later. It wasn't like you already knew.
I mean, you saw me.
Yeah,
What a
stress.
fucking mess.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys didn't tell me that you were going to go back. I think I would have fucking had a breakdown.
But no, I just, you know, I'm thinking about time, and I don't know how much time I have left. So
Yeah, no, I want to get out of here.
Yeah, I want to get a listen. I want to see, you know, I want to present this idea around her and potentially being on the block. You know, and I also want to let her know that she is not neither one of them are my targets. Now, if they happen to stay on the block for some miracle of a reason, then I'm not crying my ass off about it, but at the same time, I prefer the option. You know, so, because I heard multiple people saying that she wants that movie, so at this point, I know she could potentially win a veto, so I'm hoping that the veto gods allow me to not pick her damn card,
Right.
or move forward from there. So,
And just FYI, really quick about the Taylor thing. When her and I had that conversation, and you know, she made comment to me that her next step, when I said, you know, we're gonna have to make a big move in this game, and she's like, oh, like taking it at the win, and I was like, okay, sure. But then we had that conversation about infiltrating you, Joseph, and Kyle and Daniel. I know how much of that she trusted anything that I said. So I don't know if her intentions really were to kind of work with you or really to work with him. Just don't forget I was born to smoke a crack. I don't know if in her mind she makes that still on the table. So I don't know if you want me to.
That's what I was gonna ask. If you can maybe follow up on that,
Yeah.
see what she says. I'd be interested to know.
Well, because then after we got in the fight, I asked her what her target was, and she told me.
Yeah.
So that was my follow-up. So I need to do another follow-up because we haven't spoken since yesterday.
Okay. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess that's my only ask. You know.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know, we can circle back on that, but I think it sounds like you're good with everything that's going on here.
Yeah.
I'll keep chatting with all these people and hopefully make enough sense out of the speech that it doesn't cause too much of a stir. So I want this to be easy, but it's not. So.
No, it's not. It's a heavy week to the HOH after a heavy eviction.
Yeah.
And seriously, I'm happy that I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am.
Well, that's the way the cookie crumbled.
Honestly, I think that you guys made the right choice, and I'm just excited to continue playing this game going forward. So,
Well,
that's it right there.
Let's do this thing. All right, you guys. Thank you.